It's a little hard to tell what the public opinion on Cody is so far. I mean Apollo Justice, but it seems like I'm hearing widely different things from different groups of people. Some people think that he's bad for some reason. A lot of people think that he's really strong, especially the people that are looking into like all the tech stuff and optimizing his V-Trigger 2. Using the beanbag setups and the command throw and everything. I think he's really strong because he has crazy good rushdown with how good EX Zonk is in pressure, in neutral. Its corner carry is like comparable to that of like Rashid's EX whirlwind shot into B-skill roll for pushing the opponent to the corner on block. You just have 2 bars and then you put the opponent all the way in the corner. So and then that's all of that is true frame traps, so they can't get out of that, and then you can just maul them. Anytime that you're out of neutral, you can just throw that out there. Yeah, I think Cody's awesome. I think he's really good, but especially in the corner where he can abuse a lot of stuff. But the general consensus between a lot of different people, regardless of whether or not they say Cody is strong or weak, is that he struggles to deal with zoning, that he doesn't have that many anti-zoning tools, which I'll agree with. I mean, V-Skill is projectile invincible, and it can be used in certain matchups because it has a pretty big hitbox. It's projectile invincible very quickly, so you can punish fireballs with it on reaction. At certain ranges, about this far away, if you react to a fireball, you can punish it against the Shoto characters, like Ryu, Ken, or Akuma, Sakura, anyone that throws projectiles about that range. But, yeah, I mean, other than that, he doesn't have that many things, especially since EX Zonk is no longer projectile invincible like it used to be. I mean, that would be ridiculous if it was, because it's basically like Bardock's Rebellion Spear in Dragon Ball, where you just throw it out and then you just get in. But, yeah, so I took the time to look over what Cody's actual options are against zoning, and that's what I'll be sharing today. So I already explained in a How to Fight Guile video about, like, Guile's loops with the light sonic booms. And if you block a light sonic boom at this range, then you won't be able to jump in if he throws another one. And it's mostly based on the range that he throws it at, which means that you have a few options, such as, so if you just sit here and block and then you jump in, you're not going to be able to do it. But if you say forward dash into it, you're getting hit earlier, so you will be able to jump in on it. You can neutral jump them and then wait for them to leave the screen, that sort of thing. So yeah, all that still rings true, so I'll be covering the additional options that Cody has to contend with Guile, specifically Guile's fireball loops, as well as like any other projectile characters. Like his EX Zonk is really good and can, because your hurt box is extended, especially near your feet and near your head when you throw a fireball, you can stuff it from a lot farther away against zoning characters. Like so. But anyways, yeah, in terms of Guile's loops of pressure, in order to break the loop, one of Cody's best tools I've found after testing things is his standing hard kick. Because standing hard kick's personal hurt box really doesn't activate until like the move comes out, and it's guaranteed to hit the person past the fireball, which is really, really handy. So that's fantastic. You can and then you can challenge with the EX Zonk before he'll be able to throw another fireball at certain ranges. If you're this close and you throw out the hard kick, you'll get a crush counter if he tries to throw another fireball. So yeah, hard kick is really excellent. Most of the time when you land the hard kick, or when you get a trade with the hard kick, you can forward dash and then be able to block the next sonic boom. Or even even forward dash and then V-skill through the next projectile, if he throws another one. Additionally, like I said, when you throw a fireball, it extends your feet, your hurt box near your feet, which means that any really long-range lows, especially crouching hard kicks, are pretty good. So you can take trades by knocking him down like that, or you can outright crush counter him on the startup, like so, doing it at a range where it's not going to hit. So, because Cody has a really fast, long-reaching crouching hard kick, he has that tool going for him. Another way that you can contend by improving your frames on blocked projectiles, so that you're not just getting flash kicked when you try to jump over to the next one. Like so. You can contest with your own fireballs, which will often change the frames a little bit in your favor. And in addition, you don't just have to forward dash to change the spacing on the fireballs to get the frame advantage in your favor. Or at least not enough for him to throw another fireball. You have any forward moving special moves that'll also do the job. So Zonk will get you out of there. Ruffian kicks will get you out of there, and then stuff him if he's trying to like press buttons or do other stuff. Like I said, when you throw a fireball, it extends the hurt box near your feet and up near your head, which means that you can do that. And because Heavy Ruffian Kick has a lot of active frames, it'll often catch them if they try to throw a fireball, because their hurt box will move right into it. Medium Ruffian Kick, if you're okay with taking risks, you can do that and spear in from a long range before they can get another fireball out. Additionally, if you're not in a fireball loop, but you're just catching fireballs, you can do like low or EX slide at a range where it'll whiff, and if they throw a fireball, it'll extend their hurt box near their ankles into the slide, and then they'll get hit. So he has that option going for him. You can take trades with the fireballs and then get a better frame advantage. His best option against projectiles is always just going to be super. You can suck them in from about like this far away. Punish fireballs on reaction. There's another thing you can do with the super, which is pretty interesting. Anything that's like you're hitting against multi-hitting projectiles, like especially slow-moving ones, you can do super when the projectile's pretty close to you, and then you'll get hit, and even if the opponent blocks your super, you'll be at a frame advantage. The knife, v3.51, doesn't have that many great options for dealing with zoning. One thing that it does have is you can throw the knife as a projectile and it will trade with one other projectile, but unlike the whirlwind shot, it'll recover way faster. Like way faster. Also, unlike the whirlwind shot's hurt box against projectiles is really good, so you can do it pretty close like that. Whereas like the knife is inconsistent and will often just get beat out on startup by the projectile. Beyond that, another move that you have to possibly contend with fireballs is like you have access to the knife flurry, which is fast, doesn't whiff for very long, and it's faster than any of his other stuff, even EX Zonk. So you can throw out that, especially if you're like not sure about the frames or anything like that, you can just throw it out. It's pretty decent on whiff. You can throw it out. It's +3 on block. So it's good for checking a lot of distance. And if you're doing it at about this range, it'll absolutely catch them into the flurry if they stick a button into it or throw a projectile. But the problem is, it's a little risky to do that because if you just catch the tail end but then nothing else, he's just whiffing the entire knife flurry, like hitting nothing but air. The infinitely better V-trigger for dealing with zoning is V-trigger 2, in which you can, like every single time, just hit the projectiles back at them, and even if the opponent tries to jump over, you can constantly, every single time, just cancel the reflect into a beanbag toss, and then hit it however you want. That'll stop them from jumping in on you. You can cover the air. You can throw the projectile and then move in. Combo off of it or pressure with it using EX Zonk. It's pretty fantastic. In addition to that, you also have a standing heavy punch, which has a lot of range. Even though standing heavy punch has a lot of range, it also easily gets beaten out on startup by projectiles. But if you do it early, before they have their projectile on screen, which I can't do right now with this thing, but yeah, it'll get crush counters, it'll trade with the projectile. It's not terrible, like it has tons of range and it's decent, but really the better option is just doing this. It doesn't cost any V-gauge to reflect projectiles or cancel it into all the options that you can do. Oh yes, of course. One more thing you can do with this is if you see a projectile on screen, you can just toss the beanbag, and then you'll get hit by the projectile, but the beanbag will cover another projectile if they choose to throw one, so... And then if they throw one or if they don't, they won't be able to move in when the beanbag's right there. And then you'll be able to clear the screen of projectiles and move in with like EX Zonk. And yeah, like I've already demonstrated previously, it's not too hard to just react to fireballs at this range and V-skill through them. As for other types of zoning, like non-projectile characters, I'll just briefly cover Dalsum because not many people play him. You can whiff punish a lot of his normals from even this far out, like legitimately whiff punish them on reaction with standing heavy punch. And standing heavy punch is a great button to contend because it has a lot of active frames, even if it hits like at the top hit as an anti-air. And if it hits them on startup, you can just buffer into the low slide from really far away. Whirlwind's fine to throw out against, like, you'll trade with normals or limbs. EX Zonk is always fantastic. Regular Zonk, if you're spacing it out okay, can be a decent poke if you're spacing it out so that you won't be too close after it's blocked. The only problem with this is that Cody doesn't have that many attacks that beat low-hitting limbs, like Dalsum's standing medium kick or a lot of characters' crouching medium kicks. He doesn't have that many buttons that actually hit those. His best options would be crouching hard kick, which you can do like that. And standing medium kick. Neither of which is special cancelable, which is the problem. If you have the pipe out, you can do crouching hard punch. You can buffer it into EX Zonk from pretty far away. Also, against Dawson specifically, you can just like V-skill around, and that will beat his standing medium punch, but it won't hit low enough to beat his standing medium kick or his crouching medium punch. So, if you're a Dawson player, use your low medium kick like way more often than your buttons that hit higher up if you're fighting Cody. Against Minot's zoning options, standing medium punch, and for that matter, also standing light punch, have their hurt boxes pretty high up, sort of like a fireball, which means that they can get beat out by buttons that hit pretty high up into the air. Like so. So you can crush counter it with standing hard kick. It's never too bad to get hit by standing medium punch on block or on hit unless the Minot has a V-trigger. If she gets hit regularly, if you're just like dashing into it, Minot will always be minus after she hits with the standing medium punch, so you can always challenge her afterwards. But yeah, in addition to that, heavy ruffian kick has a lot of active frames and hits about that high up. So that can beat both Minot's standing medium punch and light punch. In addition, you can legitimately whiff punish this move on reaction with the medium ruffian kick from a mile away. And you can whiff punish it with EX Zonk. And if you're in the knife, another move that hits about that high up is standing hard punch, which will just like constantly eat this move up. Against her heavy punch, if you're really close, like about that range, closest you can be, you can whip punish with medium ruffian kick. And from really any range out here, you can whiff punish it with EX Zonk. Against Minot's crouching light punch, most characters don't have any options against this, not really, but Cody actually his standing light kick is actually better. So it'll trade or win every time, and you can buffer it into the medium ruffian kick. Like so. Forward hard punch is one of the few moves that won't get interrupted. Most characters don't have buttons that won't get interrupted by this. He can also do standing medium kick, and it won't lose to the crouching light punch. Everything else will, like most characters. As for her projectiles, he doesn't have as like the greatest options like Blanca or Rashid have, but he does have because he doesn't have anything that puts him airborne, and he has a slide, but his slide still has him standing, so he won't be able to punish the heavy one with it because it won't duck underneath the heavy. That being said, he still like has like super amazing rushdown and just can whip out EX Zonk all over the place. He can contest with his own tornadoes, and Minot is not able to reflect his. I'm not entirely sure about the knife, but I know that she cannot reflect Cody's beanbag. And once Minot already has the orb out, he has a variety of options that he can go for that will be safe on block if it trades, especially from long range. He can wait until the orb's about to hit him and then do medium ruffian kick. And then he'll not be terribly minus. I'm mistiming it, but yeah, there you go. You can be like -1, totally safe on block. -2. The only thing that he has that can be plus on block is regular Zonk. There, that was 0 on block. That was +1. So yeah, Cody's got some options. Like I said, the standing hard kick is one of the best ones that you can use to challenge like a lot of fireballs. You can challenge fireballs with some other stuff. You can react to a lot of fireballs with V skill, and you can contest with your own tornado sweeps, and just beat out the fireballs on startup from a mile away with EX Sunk. In addition, that low-hitting slide, being able to catch fireball startup because of how it extends your crouching hurt box, and medium ruffian kick and heavy ruffian kick, all of them being useful in their own rights. But mostly it's just that, like, if you're in V-Trigger, there's no reason to struggle against zoning. You can reflect any actual projectiles. Cody has no trouble dealing with Minot, since you can whip punish all of her normals, and her projectiles themselves aren't that hard to deal with anyways, no matter what character you are. So yeah,